lovely people. Welcome to Turn Up the Radio. I'm RadioRayes, joined by my lovely co-hosts Hypabolic and Desico.
Hello.
Hello.
And today we're joined by Lopil. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Lopil, and I'm a self-taught animator and I'm an artist. I'm currently as of the time of this interview, I'm currently studying in college or senior high. Actually, I'm in a college where I'm at. So yeah, I'm in an arts and designs course. So I hope to have a good time with y'all.
My first question for you, what got you started in art?
Actually, it was way back when I was younger. I remember watching some animations when I was left unsupervised on the internet. It was back then, the internet wasn't as bad as it is now, but I have seen some things that definitely influenced my art the way it was. So there was this artist back then. She was called Bani the Kitty, Bani, and then the Kitty. And so many of her animations have actually influenced the way I draw and why I wanted to draw. Because when I looked at the comments, so many people were influenced by the animation, saying like it made them feel happy or it made them feel a certain emotion. And I wanted to be able to make other people feel that emotion. So that's when I started to draw and that's how I got to where I am now.
What made you realize your passion for art?
What made me realize my passion for art is seeing the amount of love that people gave to artists. And at first, I wanted to pursue it as a hobby. And way back when, I really wanted to become a veterinarian. But then I realized I wasn't that smart in science or math. And yes, I had a talent for thinking logically sometimes, and I'm always able to read people's emotions here and there. And even though it doesn't happen well sometimes, and I have a couple flaws with my um, overthinking, I realized that my passion for art started when I was encouraged once in an event. There was this contest I had way back in grade six in my country, and I was asked by my classmates to take part in a design contest, and it was for a camping trip, and I was to make a T-shirt design. I took part twice, grade four, grade six, and I won both contests, I think, and my
Yo.
designs got used
Nice.
in the camping events. I still have the shirts to this day, and even though I've even though I've grown since then, it still fits me because I have Asian height jeans.
That's so real though.
Rip.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know,
That's so
Lawful, I
cool
think that's
though.
pretty funny because, like, I remember as a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian. Now I'm doing art.
It's funny because because the mascot I use now is exactly the kind of exactly the kind of um animal I wanted to have treated like a kind of like cat like thing, but acts like a dog.
And just a morph.
Which
It's just
is
a mix.
funny.
You know what? I
Yeah.
remember the thing that crushed that dream was that I remember dogs existed, and I don't really like dogs that much. I know I'm
No.
gonna get so much hate, but not that I don't like them, they're just a bit too energetic for me. I remembered, oh no, I have to treat dogs too, and then I'm like, I don't want to be a vet anymore.
Dogs are stinky. I
We've
like cats
lost
more,
every single
personally.
viewer that ever existed on Turn Up the
Yep,
Radio.
I'm sorry,
Everyone's
guys.
gone,
FNF,
guys.
FNF, Among Us,
Oh my
Kai
god.
Cenat,
Dude, dude, they're
Skibidi
about to
Toilet.
post like a video like Hypabolic exposed, and it's just me talking about how I have
Mm.
a preference for cats. I want
Oh,
to see someone make like a horrible thumbnail like that.
a phantom tax, by the way. Lopil,
Oh my god.
Oh
here's
my
my next
god.
question for you. My next question for you. What do you think of the Skibidi Toilet movie by Michael Bay?
Editor me,
Oh my
editor radio,
god.
cut this out. Cut this part
I'm
in.
not cutting anything out.
No! We're not answering this
I'm not
question.
going to answer that.
Don't
This
answer
is
it.
so
Good,
sad.
good, good.
How long has your art journey been going on? for so far?
I started when I was 8 years old, so I have to estimate that I started when I think it's been like 12 years or 13,
Wow.
Oh my god,
um,
same
because my
bestie,
back
same.
would, yeah, because my back would not have been this bad if it were like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, you
That's
see,
so real
Lawful,
though.
what you have to tell them is that it's prepping for your shrimp cosplay, right?
The
And the
Okay,
fact
audible
that
okay,
sigh.
I
shrimp can be
understand.
taken, no, the fact that shrimp can be taken in two different ways, you just insulted me in two ways.
I would
My
like
god.
to formally apologize.
It's funny. They call shrimp like, bro. I hear that every day from my
Compliment. I
classmates
like
already.
shrimp. I like shrimp. Okay.
Aw, thank you.
You're a very cool shrimp, Lawful.
The coolest, actually.
That's a mixed reaction. You're getting a mixed reaction from that.
I'll take the good half. Throw the other half away.
Yeah, what are some of your biggest inspirations with art?
I've gained so many big inspirations since I grown up, and I would like to talk about the ones I have now because they're the ones that I really want to be like as I want to try and improve my art. It's been the same since I started, and I haven't really changed a lot. So it'd be a shock for you. It'd be a shocker for you to find out that I actually like Gabriel Bosch from Madness Combat.
Hmm.
No, here you gotta hear me out on this one.
I'm
Um,
listening.
Gabriel, Gabriel Barsh, his animations, specifically his animations, they're they are charming in a very specific way. And it's not just the comedy, it's the way his characters move and the choreography he puts into the scenes that it really makes me wonder how what is his thought process behind all this. And one day, if possible, just for a if a class project happens, then I would like to then I would want to interview him actually. um my second influence for art, I'm actually looking at a list right now. I'm looking at my Instagram following. um my second inspiration for art, it has to be Terenry RM. It's their backgrounds that really get me wanting to improve a lot because I'm very weak at backgrounds. I
I disagree.
I would
actually
like to disagree, yeah.
You are very good at backgrounds.
how
I
I
think you're
have to
super pretty.
disagree. I
No,
have to
no.
disagree, because there are a lot of times where my perspective would be off compared to the character, which is why I struggle a lot when it comes to character illustrations that focus on backgrounds. There
Hmm.
is this illustration I did once, or recently for a school event. It's a cold front fan art, and the original theme I had for that was a starry night, and I wanted to draw a space kind of vibe, but I was struggling with the colors, and I at the time didn't know how to do it, so I just gave up and defaulted to what I was used to, which was pastel colors and brightness, and then I realized, oh no, I have to use I have to use blue. So yeah, that's why. And it
Oh
just made me
no,
frustrated.
it's not blue.
It made me yeah, because I don't know if this is a weird thing. I'd hate to digress from the topic, but blue is actually a color I don't like using.
Honestly, I
I
understand.
Yeah, it's so difficult to work with, which is funny because one of my main characters actually uses blue a lot, and and then another character uses blue. I have two characters that use blue, and it frustrates me every time I have to draw them.
Yeah.
So
I
What I normally
I
do is
find
it
that
kind of just starts leaning into purple a little bit.
yeah. What's funny is I find that really interesting because me personally, blue is one of my easiest colors to work with. I find it not hard at all to use blue. It's so
Yeah,
Okay,
interesting
it
hearing
depends
that.
on the artist.
as someone who's kind of an outlier here, what makes a color easier or more difficult to work with? I guess I don't get why
I'm
like
Oh,
gonna
certain
give my
colors
okay.
would be
perspective
So
on
easier.
this. I'm gonna give my perspective on this based on what I've learned in my courses. It has to do with what you've been observing as an artist. Say you've been looking at a lot of pink art, and your art will start to look a lot pinkish. So I can tell you that with my colors. I've been looking at a lot of an artist called Mika Picasso, which I can
I
circle
love
back
her.
to. Yes, Mika Picasso is actually one of my like third inspirations. Her colors are like extremely vibrant, and
Seriously,
it's
so
something I
cool.
wish to implement into my art style, which I think I recently did in one of my fan arts for Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, so we're gonna be showing that on screen on the podcast
Whoa,
if you
no
send that
way.
over
Editing
later.
magic. Oh, mama. Oh.
Yep,
Oh my
magic.
no! I'm gonna send the art I was talking about, the Cold Front fan art as well. So
Hmm.
Yeah, generally, like green is considered one of the hardest colors to render with, mostly because it doesn't mix well with a lot of colors or palettes. Like it looks great monochromatic, but like it's kind of like trying to put
Mm.
like red on top of a brown. Like if you
Mhm.
put them next to each other on a striped shirt, you're not gonna like that.
Yeah.
But like white and
that's
blue looks
actually
great.
like that's actually a good point you're making. I had problems trying to render this specific artwork as well.
Okay.
I
Well,
render it
that
And
Me.
slowly.
yeah. Yeah. At first I didn't see like how certain colors would like be easier or harder, but the context I get it. But that's kind of wild actually.
Mhm.
Y'all
Like
artists
I
got it
think it
rough
just
for real,
Yeah.
really
for real.
depends on what kind of mood you want for the piece because if
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
have a lot of red, it's going to have a lot different than like a softer
Mhm.
color where it's not
Right,
as
right, right.
For me
With the red it's
personally.
more like aggressive and angry kind
Mhm.
of thing.
or not always angry, but just like a lot more emotion in it generally. Like it's a more warm, saturated color
Yep,
generally
and that's
and
where the warm and the cold spectrum of the freaking thingy comes into play. Me personally, when it comes to like colors, the reason why I find blue the easiest for me, or one of the easier ones, I actually find purple and like red a lot easier than blue, but I still find blue kind of easy. Is just figuring out how to holy English, figuring out, not figuring out, figuring out
yeah.
which colors to use when I'm shading and which colors to use when I'm contrasting other colors on the wheel. I don't know why, but for some reason when I use blue, it's just really easy for me. I don't know why. But I think it's because a lot of my artwork stuff
Wait.
revolve on the colder side of the wheel, and I use blue a lot. Blue used to be my favorite color until it was purple.
yeah, like I actually struggle a lot with blue because like everyone here already knows I'm like a hyper fan of Longest Solo Ever, and his main color is red, so I use that a lot, right? Like a lot of the art I look at, I'm like, oh my gosh, that red color's so pretty,
You
and then I'm
look
sitting
at
here with
you
blue,
look
like
like art. That's crazy.
I
Why
am
the heck
art,
do
I'm
you
beautiful.
render?
Okay, anyway, but when I use blue, it's a lot cooler, and I really like those saturated tones. Like especially on skin tones, if I use blue on that, they're gonna look like a zombie, and that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I actually
Right,
like
right.
I think if you're like using blue, you should use a bit of a purple
Mhm.
ish color.
hmm
It's a workaround, I guess. I've
Like
managed,
honestly,
or you can just like use a like dark blue color for like the skin, and then just add a pinkish hue, and then put it on a
yeah.
color layer, and then you merge it.
Mhm.
Like I prefer to not only use one color. Like if I'm gonna have blue shading, I'll put like a magenta or maybe an orange like add layer underneath
Make
my
it stand out.
multiply,
That's
so then
Mhm.
it
good.
Yeah.
won't like
It's not just
all
blue, blue,
blue.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it it won't overwhelm you like an ocean.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, what is some of your long-term goals with art?
My long-term goal with art is for me to be able to run an indie animation studio. That's a bit ambitious, I know, but if I can, I would like to like start maybe like either an indie animation studio or my own indie comic series, which the latter feels a bit more reasonable. But if I can't do a comic series, then at best I would like to work for someone else that could that I would like that I like working with, like maybe uh, okay, wait. I think I may have worded that poorly. My second goal, if possible, if my indie goals don't work, I could become like a content creator. Which
Mm.
fair enough. I
Yeah.
have my own art to use as content, and currently what I'm working towards right now is proper improvement in my art style because, like I said, I think earlier, it's remained the same since I've grown and there hasn't been much change or consistency in improvement. So I'm working on that because that will, in turn, help me find my own actual style.
When you open up
God.
this indie game dev brother, or sorry, animation studio, indie animation studio, I need to be first on the hiring list because I'm that cool.
You're cool, so I'll do that.
Let's go!
This is crazy.
I
But
knew
no,
her
that's a
before
really
she
So
was
real.
cool
super famous.
goal to have.
uh,
Like I also really love animation and like honestly I really want to work as an animator for like I don't freaking know. Like maybe anime or like some Disney? I don't know, but
oh no.
No,
dude.
no,
Oh
you do
no.
Not
not want to
Disney,
work
not
for
Disney.
Disney.
Well, actually, yeah, maybe not, but that was just the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. I get it though.
but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, being an animator would be really cool, and that's a really cool goal to like have as your own, just to actually even make your own studio rather than even just working for one. I personally don't think I could run a
Yeah.
studio of my own. It would be really cool though, but that's a really it's a really ambitious goal, but I think you can do it.
Yeah, I
If
think
you
so
put your
too.
mind to it. Damn!
You can do anything.
Dude.
This is
Stop laughing, I might laugh.
I hate this quiz.
So
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
So stupid. Shut up, Jumbo.
No, no, I will not.
You will do anything. Damn. Okay.
Next question. Moving on.
But yeah, what would you say you like most about the art process?
Oh goodness, where do I start? I actually like. It's weird, but I like all of it for some reason.
You know, that's
Because
understandable.
yeah, because when I start the sketch, it ends up usually being the line art because like if I'm using my iPad with Photoshop Mobile and then I'm using a pen, then I would be like it would have a like normal texture like a like classic like non-thick line art. Like no thick and thin, it's just plain simple like consistent line weight. But if I'm using my mouse and I'm on my computer drawing, then I'm always using a pencil to sketch out. And what happens is that the rendering process ends up becoming like way different from what I was intending. Like there's an art piece I have. I've lost the file for sadly because it was on my old phone and my old phone died out of nowhere.
Oh
So
no.
and but I do have the unrendered file here. It's one of my character Coiler. He's the mascot for one of my for a couple of my songs, which sadly I'm putting an end to because like if I wanted to continue it, then I will because yeah, I also like Starbreak and I want to be like him too. But if I am planning to continue Coiler's little series, then I might draw him more. But going back to the rendering process, I just started out his sketch, and when I tried to do the line art, I got frustrated because I was like, "Ugh, I don't like using a mouse already. Why am I making it hard on? Why am I making it difficult for me by not using the sketch?" So I just cleaned it up and then colored it, and then boom, it ends up with a way different vibe from what I usually intend. I'm gonna use the cold front fan art again because that I used the mouse for that as well. It looks very soft, and that's exactly why it looks so different from a lot of my art. Um, and that's also why I think that's also why I like it a lot more because I'm used to this process. If I draw on a an iPad or on a tablet, I'm gonna have difficulties because it doesn't look like my style, and then I'll get frustrated and not want to do it. And coloring is the fun part because it helps me determine the mood for the piece, which is also why I didn't like the cold front fan art at first until I recolored it. Yeah, I recolored it recently to give it the actual vibe I wanted it. So yeah, that's mostly it for my favorite parts of the process. I think the one I actually have the most the one I experiment the most with is the sketching phase because I'm always messing around with character poses. And one I'm working on right now has insane perspective, so I'm willing to I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Hmm. Honestly, sketching is
Mhm.
probably one of the most fun parts about doing art because you don't need to do something like insanely crazy. You can just kind of fool around and just fiddle with things until you get the right thing, the right pose, and perspectives are really cool, especially when you get to know how to use them properly. I'm kind of learning on
Mhm.
that still, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yay.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Um, I was gonna say next, what do you like least about the art process? But you did say you like everything. So I don't think there's an answer to that, is there?
I have to say the one thing I don't like about the art process, but it really depends actually, because sometimes it'll actually be the one I like most, which is usually sketching. But the one thing I dislike the most about the process has to be post processing overall. Like
Oh
after I'm
yes.
done rendering, it looks so good, and I don't want to ruin the colors by adding stupid filters over it. And which is what happened when I when I it's actually what happened to one of my pieces, and it makes me want to cry so badly cuz
Right? Because like sometimes it'll either make it absolutely gorgeous or you'll just accidentally ruin the entire piece and it sucks.
you just have to trust it. No, I don't trust it.
The process
Like
is not trusting.
yeah, there was this I remember like trying to mess around with the filters on Coiler's piece, and I used selective color, and in the end I didn't like how it looked, so I just left it unrendered, and it looked even better than the actual thing.
It'd be like
Ugh.
that sometimes.
On the other hand, the fan art I made for SDN, and it looked good when I intended for it to look more like when I intended for it to have more cool colors, it ended up looking good with a bit of a like greenish tint, and I'm just like, whoa, why did it end up like this? It looks too good. Why?
Yeah, I actually do that sometimes where like it's meant to be cyan, but I also like mixing in a few other colors so it's not quite like a pure one anymore. It somehow looks really cool.
Oh, and speaking of post processing, there is one piece that I hate the most, and it's ironically like a thing I made exactly for uh longest solo ever.
I know that guy.
Uh yeah, you know that guy.
I do know
Did
that guy.
he actually I remember walking up to him,
Kind
or
words
not
indeed.
walking up to him, I just slid into his DMs asking, hey, my school is holding an event where they're making merch, and I want to sell merch for you. Is it all right if I make merch for you? And then he's like, yeah, go ahead. And what happened was I made a piece, and firstly I didn't like the post processing after that because the whole vibe ended up being different and I hated it. Secondly, it did not sell. I have three prints,
Oh
No.
it
my
did not
god.
sell. On the other hand, I get to have one for myself, one for Dean, and one for a lucky person if I ever meet them. So,
This is so depressing.
Alright,
That's
I'm
the
flying over
that's
right
lottery.
the
now. That is
tragedy.
mine.
No. No, bro.
I would buy a Lopil shirt.
I would
Don't
buy
worry.
that. I would buy that.
Ooh.
I swear it is not my LSE fan words.
You are totally not an LSC
Words.
fan.
In
I don't
fan
even like
words.
him. Just do not check my Twitter page, okay? I don't even like him. I don't know who he is, okay? Just you all believe me, right?
Okay.
But yeah, what would you say is the project you're most proud of?
One I'm currently working on, or one that I've already shown off.
Honestly,
Of
either.
of all time. Like what's
Of
your
all
what
time,
yes,
there's
yes.
this series I'm working on, and it's called Unity 4. And my goodness, it's a compilation of everything I've ever liked since I was a child. I've grown up watching a lot of anime because my dad loves anime, and he shown me lots of shows like, say, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's actually where my name comes from. Not Lopil, by the way. It's on my Instagram, so I don't care if you guys are just gonna brag like, "Hey, I know her real name." Yeah, I don't care anymore. My and Apart from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, we have Gundam, the older Gundam series, not Witch from Mercury. He actually doesn't like that one. Uh, then we have Hunter x Hunter, of course. I recently just finished it, and I'm currently watching Yu Yu Hakusho. Hakusho. So yeah, Unity 4 is a project that I can say like consists of everything that I like since I was a kid. I think I've said that. So it stars this robot, this android dude. He's what in his universe he's called a generic model because it's just a model that can do basically anything. um Unity he meets this android, this evil android, or not evil, just the antagonist. His name is Enmity, which haha, you, you
There's
didn't.
no
Then
pun
I'm
here.
smart, I'm so smart. The name Unity, Enmity, anyways.
I
They
like it.
both,
Don't worry.
yeah, they both fight for a bit because Enmity is trying to destroy Unity's village, but Enmity spares Unity's village because Unity is the first one that actually tries to stop him because usually people are afraid of him. And because of that, he leaves. And Unity decides, I'm trying to work on this beginning. On the, in, he tries to look for Enmity because he's worried that he might become like a danger to like more cities. And on the way he meets some characters like Chewy AI, Dena 3, who totally is not Dean but short
Not
and
Dean.
with
Not Dean.
anger issues.
I've
And
seen the design. It is not Dean, guys. Promise.
it's totally not Dean, trust me. He
I'll have
totally
to draw
doesn't
him
use a
sometime.
guitar. It's totally not Dean with trauma. And we have Party,
Oh,
who was supposed to be for an FNF mod, but I recycled him
I
to be
know
part of
that
Unity.
FNF
Me
mod.
too.
Yeah. And I don't want to add Party in there in FNF because like he'll get heavily mischaracterized, and I'm gonna like shrivel up in a corner because
I
he's
can
because
I
I
can hear the pain in your voice. It's like
So
tangible.
yes.
adamant.
The fear.
Oh my god.
FNF!
It's
No!
F and F mentioned all the viewers are gone.
This
like
is so sad, guys.
okay, okay, that's nice. And we've got this one character whom I'm working on an animation for. It was supposed to be for an animation contest by Cloud Kid, but funnily enough, I actually am partnered with, if that's the best way to phrase it. Cloud Kid's basically just letting me use their music for free so long as I credit them. They just approached me one day after I posted the Dark Side animation meme with Kuyo and Shira. But Judas Ramirez, he is one of my more recent characters, and he was an AU version of a fandom, but I'm not going to disclose what that is because 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 I'm cringe. Okay, I was cringe back then, and
It's
Judas,
okay.
he's
We
got
forgive
these
you.
like, yeah, he's got these insane. He's got an insane electric power, and one thing unique about him, in a way, is that with the electricity that he has, he can control other androids with by manipulating their system. Like they can be conscious, they can be aware that things are that their system is moving on their own, but for some reason they can't stop it because Judas is using electricity to move them. He's one of the threats alongside alongside enmity that Unity has to fight. And funnily enough, is actually Judas is actually one of the threats that Unity actually takes seriously. I was planning to keep Judas secret, but I really love him, so yeah. There's another project I really love, but it's mostly because it's a childhood thing. um it's called Rebelite, and because yeah, I grew up watching furry stuff, so don't judge me if most of the characters are, well, furries. They're anthropomorphic animals. And one of the characters in there, the reason I'm so proud of Rebelite is because just a growth of my personality. Because when I made it, I was such a re- I don't know what the word this is for.
Weeb.
No, I was not a weeb. I'm gonna try to translate. I'm gonna provide a translation for this if I look back on this. Ang kulit ako back then. So I was very, oh yeah, that's the word. I was a very mischievous kid, and I always loved causing
Mm.
trouble, and I hated following orders. Even though I was characterized as like, oh, she's a good kid, she's a sweet kid. She is such a stellar student. She might not be good at math, but she does well and follows the teachers. Meanwhile, I'm just here like being a gremlin and not paying attention in class.
This is like Chihuahua
And
behavior.
That's so real.
yeah,
That's so
and
real.
yeah,
Yo, this
back
is
to
an apple she don't bite.
yeah, back to Revelites. Way back when, I expressed my dislike for the rules through most of my characters, and I created an antagonist, the main antagonist, known only as the authorities, um eyeless and earless creatures that basically follow the protagonists everywhere they go and
That's
ensure that
so
they don't
fun.
cause trouble. Yeah, it sounds fun, but they're like, if I
Sounds like my
remember,
room
I
at 3 in the
made.
morning.
I remember when I wrote back then, I didn't know how the metric measuring system worked, and I said they were 20 feet tall.
That's
My character,
crazy.
yeah, and my shortest character there is 3 feet.
It's really funny.
And I had to retcon it like, yeah, they're 10 feet tall. I had to cut their height by half.
That's wild.
Anyways, like basic premise for this project is just this deer known as this fey deer known as Fawny, or fairy inspired deer. She's her name is Fawny, and she is the classic prophesized child of light, and the tree of life is dying, and so she alongside the others known as rebelites have to recover the tree of life, and yeah, it sounds basic, I know, but let's be honest, it's a childhood project. And I guess the what is my and I guess the most I guess the most accessible project for me like right now would be Cheat Code to Life. It's just a digital horror series that I'm making because I can, and it just follows this girl, Emerald or Ruby, I don't remember. It follows this girl, Emerald and Ruby, as they're navigating life. All the while, there's these tutorial videos that basically help you through life, led by a character named Coder. And my goodness, Coder, she is such a chaotic gremlin. She is me if I decided not to have any filter. Coder says everything that's on my mind. So if I'm just thinking like something very unhinged, like if someone's like it just reflects onto me, like, because coder is actually very nihilistic and doesn't care about other people's feelings. And one part of the tutorial series is basically just coder handling the tutorial, saying how do I handle my emotions, and what coder says is just turn them off. Literally, stop feeling. If it's such a problem to you, then you should stop feeling emotion. And that's basically what cheat code to life is. It's like, it is what it is. It's a cheat code to life. It's a cynical take on, I guess. It's a cynical take on how to get through life and adulting, basically. So those are my three main projects that I'm currently proud of. So yeah.
But yeah, what are some of the biggest hurdles you've had to overcome?
The biggest hurdles I've had to overcome, it really depends. Are you asking about my art, or
Yeah,
is it about my okay?
it
Because
could
I
be
was about
about.
to tell you. Yeah,
It could be
one
about.
of my
Yeah, it
biggest
could be about the other
hurdles.
thing.
Yeah, one of my biggest hurdles right now, based on my art, has to be actually improving, because I think I've said this over the course of the podcast that I haven't been improving, and my change is very inconsistent. It's a struggle that my parents consistently point out to me, and although harsh, they say that that my style in a sense is stubborn and it's not unique. So I'm working on trying to figure out what could work for me, and it's been causing me a lot of frustration recently, and it's why I've stopped trying to put out content for a bit, because of the lack of motivation and the constant scrutiny that I'm putting my art under. Because I'm looking at it and saying, this already looks like something else. The- I'm yeah. That's yeah. That's mostly it.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, is there any like last minute advice you would like to give to those interested in what you do?
Last minute advice. It doesn't have anything to do with art, actually. It has to do something with socializing, because I am not a very
Mm.
social person, and the only reason I'm on here right now is because I asked very nicely. I just batted my eyes at the host and just said, "Please, pretty please." And yeah, you really, to those interested in what I do, you really have to get good at socializing. I am not joking. When you're an artist, you have to talk to people, especially if you're opening commissions, and you have to understand lingo that you don't understand. If my sister gets on this podcast, she might talk about her commissions, which something happened, and it was
Oh.
unfortunate, but yeah.
Oh.
And when it comes to socializing, especially when you're getting jobs, like when you're getting interviewed for a position as an art director or as an extra artist, you have to understand what to say and how to present yourself, because um, an advice from a course I took on my English has to be like, you have to be professional, you have to be formal. Like, it's why I'm speaking very differently on the podcast compared to if you were to talk to me when I'm off the podcast. I would be stuttering and speaking and screaming like an unhinged goblin. But right now I am
Aquaman.
very calm and composed. I'm actually not even laughing, trying sometimes. Okay, cut to me laughing.
I don't really cut to when she laughs
That's
immediately.
crazy.
But when it comes to socializing, you always have to try to solve a problem when you're an artist, because when people commission you, they are looking to solve they are looking to a solution to a problem that they have. Like, for example, a commission I had recently for a graphic design. Yes, I do graphic design as well, and that may actually be my second best thing, aside from illustration. So their issue was that their logo had a lack of personality and wanted me to help with that. And I implemented a lot of what they wanted, and it solved their problem, and they loved it. So if you want, firstly, get good at socializing, because if you're going to be doing interviews, you're going to be talking a lot, and you have to learn what to disclose, what not to disclose, because you might digress, like what I do a lot. And if you are opening commissions, you have to learn what problems you can solve. It's a thing my mother always told me. People come to you because they're looking for a solution to their problem, and you have to know what that problem is. So yeah, that's some last minute advice I'd like to
Hmm.
give.
Yeah, I really do. I really agree with that. Even outside of like art and stuff like that, just knowing how to communicate, how to present yourself, how to like really understand what you're trying to do if you're being interviewed for whatever, it really does help. And it just gives you a more like what's the word? Like a more confident and presentable person, a more approachable person actually. That was the word I was trying to say.
When you get into senior high, and if you ever have an arts course, especially in the Philippines, you're literally going to learn how to be professional and how to
Hmm.
act on an interview. I had to buy a suit for a just for a speech, and I only used it twice.
Oh, that's
I only
What
used
crazy.
it
kind
That's
of
so
suit?
twice.
real.
And heck, I was even in sneakers.
Oh my
I was in
god.
This is
sneakers.
crazy.
The pain.
But yeah, I think that about wraps it up for us. Do you have any last minute things you'd like to say before we end it here?
All right, I'd like to say thank you for inviting me to uh more like letting me in the podcast, and
Of course, of course.
and just make sure you always take the time for yourself, because while you're stressing out about things like maybe school or improvement, you could be forgetting to take time to
Hmm.
love yourself as well, because as always, change starts with you. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for waking up really early just to just to be on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Heck yeah, heck
What do
yeah.
you
Spending
I'm
mean? It's
sure it was.
normal. It's actually normal for me to wake up this early. So
really?
I'd like to,
Oh.
Wait,
yeah.
how early did you
Earliest I
wake
wake
up?
up is
Wait.
4:30 a.m.
Huh?
Oh my
Okay.
I
god.
slept at 1, just so you
I
know.
fear you.
That's
I slept at
awful.
1.
Okay, okay. No, that's
I
alright, that's
wake
alright.
up I wake up at 7:30 at the earliest. It's crazy. I could
My
never.
That's the
body.
latest for me.
Yeah, I'll normally wake up around like 6 or 6:30.
I think I wake up only like around 7 every single day, no matter what. It's kind of weird.
Man,
I
I
mean,
used to
kudos
do
for
that
having a consistent sleep schedule, though.
for real.
Mine is
But yeah,
questionable at best.
so real, so real. I go to bed. I u- I usually am supposed to go to bed at like 11, but I don't, and I usually stay up until like 12 or 1, which is very bad. But
I love how those
I
from
Oh,
ending the
yeah.
recall,
I
you know.
ending
can't
the
relate to
podcast to
that.
I
bed
can't.
sleeping.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
I can't relate to that.
I have never stayed up past 3 a.m. drawing, I
So
swear.
real, so real. But yeah, that about wraps it up for us. Thank you for joining us, Lawful. Great to
Well,
have you.
thank
Great to
you.
have you.
Thank you.
Follow
Thank you so
Lopil on
much.
This.
all her socials in the
Yes,
Yep.
description,
yes, yes,
baby.
yes. What socials do you have, Lawful?
Well, I'm the official Lopil on Instagram and Toy House. So if you want to talk to me and talk about OCs, you can DM me there. And you can also talk to me about commission details. But my bank is acting weird, so
Oh
I
no.
can't. I have PayPal open right now. And I am official underscore Lopil on Discord. So if you want to talk to me, go ahead and hit me up there. And that's about it. Thank you so much.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep,
All
that's
Very
it.
right.
cool.
Thank you for
Bye
joining us,
bye.
Lawful. I'm
And
Radio
you
Rays,
have to.
joined by my lovely co-hosts Hypabolic and Desico.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
Hello.
as always,
Thank you so much for
next
having
month,
me. And
next month, I don't know who we're gonna be talking to. we're fucked. We're
It's gonna
cooked
be
here,
my
guys.
clone, my
I would like to
clone.
recommend
God.
a certain. I would like to recommend a certain bunny who is considering reopening streams right now.
I can
So
definitely
you can
say that
check
Surreal,
they
her
are on the
out.
surreal.
list.
Yeah, certain
They're
bunny.
definitely on the list. I will talk to
Mhm.
her. But yeah,
Now, if you'll
thank you
excuse
all for
me,
listening.
thank you.
Thank you
If
all
you'll
for
excuse me,
listening,
I'm gonna
and
go
we'll
and
see you next time.
Die.
I'm gonna go and eat breakfast now. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye guys,
Very
bye
cool,
guys, bye
very
guys.
cool.
Bye bye.
Woo!